Hashtag when you go silent, her mind goes crazy, face screaming in fear, female psychology revealed. The moment Rowan stopped sending messages, everything changed, but not in the way anyone expected. For months, he had been the one reaching out first, checking in every morning, remembering every little detail, and trying to prove his worth through endless effort. Then, one bright spring morning, under a sky painted with soft white clouds and warm daylight, he quietly put his phone down and decided to focus on rebuilding himself instead of chasing someone else's attention. He wasn't trying to manipulate anyone or play games. He was simply exhausted from pouring his heart into a connection that no longer felt balanced. What happened over the following weeks became a powerful lesson about human emotions, self-worth, and the mysterious way distance can make people notice what constant availability often hides. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that inspire personal growth, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us continue bringing heartfelt stories that remind people they are stronger than they think. Rowan was 29 years old, worked as a landscape designer, and had built a reputation for making neglected places bloom into beautiful gardens. Ironically, while he could revive dying parks and forgotten courtyards, he struggled to nurture his own confidence. His days were filled with bright sunshine, green trees, colorful flowers, and peaceful outdoor spaces, but inside he constantly questioned whether he was enough for the woman he deeply admired. Her name was Mireia, a talented architect whose ambition and intelligence impressed everyone around her. Their friendship had slowly turned into something more meaningful, yet it never seemed fully balanced. Rowan always initiated conversations, planned meetings, remembered birthdays, and made sacrifices without expecting much in return. He believed that if he simply cared enough, everything would eventually fall into place. At first, Mireia appreciated his kindness. She enjoyed his company during long afternoon walks through city parks, and weekend coffee breaks beneath clear blue skies. Yet over time, something subtle happened. Because Rowan was always available, his efforts gradually became expected instead of appreciated. She never intended to take him for granted, but human nature often adapts quickly to consistency. The messages that once brought excitement became routine. The thoughtful surprises became predictable. His endless availability slowly erased the mystery that had once surrounded him. Meanwhile, Rowan grew increasingly anxious. Every delayed reply felt enormous. Every cancelled plan stayed in his thoughts for days. Instead of enjoying the relationship for what it was, he became consumed by trying to maintain it. Friends gently reminded him that healthy relationships cannot survive on one person's effort alone, but Rowan feared that stepping back would mean losing her forever. Everything shifted one peaceful Tuesday morning. After spending another sleepless night staring at unread messages, Rowan took a long walk through a botanical garden just after sunrise. Families laughed in the distance, children chased butterflies across bright green lawns, and elderly couples smiled as they admired blooming roses. Watching life continue so peacefully reminded him of something he had forgotten. The world did not stop because someone failed to reply to a message. Nature continued growing without demanding constant attention. Flowers bloomed quietly. Trees stood confidently without asking anyone to notice them. That realization became the turning point. Instead of reaching for his phone, Rowan decided to invest his energy elsewhere. He joined a weekend photography club, started running each morning beneath the clear daylight sky, volunteered to restore neglected community gardens, and reconnected with friends he had unintentionally neglected. He didn't block Mireia. He didn't post dramatic messages. He simply stopped chasing conversations that no longer flowed naturally. His silence wasn't punishment. It was peace. The first few days passed quietly. Then something unexpected happened. Mireia noticed the absence almost immediately. She found herself opening old conversations, wondering why the familiar morning message never arrived. At first she assumed he was simply busy. A few more days passed, and curiosity quietly replaced certainty. She realized how accustomed she had become to his constant presence. Without intending to, she had allowed his kindness to become part of the background of her everyday life. As the weeks continued, she began remembering moments she had overlooked. She thought about the afternoons he patiently listened while she spoke about difficult projects. She remembered how he always celebrated her achievements without making the conversation about himself. She recalled sunny weekends filled with laughter that she had once assumed would always be there. For the first time, she wasn't distracted by the comfort of knowing Rowan would always reach out first. Instead, she was left with space to reflect on how much his presence had quietly enriched her life. At the same time, Rowan experienced a different transformation. The silence that had initially felt frightening gradually became liberating. His mornings no longer revolved around waiting for notifications. His happiness became connected to meaningful work, supportive friendships, and personal growth rather than unpredictable responses on a screen. He smiled more often. His confidence slowly returned. Even strangers noticed a quiet calm that hadn't been there before. Months later, during a community park celebration held on a bright summer afternoon, their paths crossed unexpectedly. Rowan was helping children plant young trees while volunteers decorated the park with colorful flowers. Mireya had arrived to review a nearby construction project, and was surprised to see him laughing so freely. The anxious man she once knew had been replaced by someone grounded, peaceful, and genuinely content. For the first time in a long while, she realized that his value had never depended on how much attention he gave her. His quiet confidence spoke louder than endless messages ever could. She understood that genuine connection grows strongest when two people choose each other freely rather than when one person constantly pursues the other. Their reunion was gentle and sincere. Neither rushed to rewrite the past. Instead, they spent time rediscovering each other through honest conversations built on mutual respect rather than emotional dependence. Rowan no longer felt the need to prove his worth, and Mireya learned to appreciate presence before absence forced her to notice it. Their story wasn't about winning someone back through silence. It was about rediscovering self-respect. Sometimes stepping back gives both people the space needed to see a relationship more clearly. Sometimes silence isn't about creating confusion, it's about creating room for reflection. Whether someone returns or not, the greatest reward comes from becoming emotionally stronger, healthier, and more complete within yourself. As the seasons changed, Rowan continued designing beautiful landscapes across the city. Every garden reminded him that growth never happens overnight. Plants need sunlight, patience, space, and healthy roots. Human relationships are remarkably similar. They flourish through balance, appreciation, and mutual effort, not constant pursuit. If this story touched your heart or reminded you of someone who needed to value themselves a little more, please support this video by liking it, sharing it with your friends and family, leaving your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing to Kindness Corner. Your encouragement allows us to continue creating meaningful stories that inspire hope and emotional growth. Special request *, before you watch another video, comment below with one word, growth, if you believe real love begins with respecting yourself first. As the golden afternoon slowly turned into a calm, peaceful evening, Rowan looked across the park he had helped restore. Children laughed beneath healthy trees, colorful flowers danced gently in the breeze, and families created memories that would last a lifetime. He finally understood that silence had never been his greatest strength. His greatest strength was finding peace within himself. And once he stopped chasing validation, he discovered something far more valuable than anyone else's attention, a life filled with confidence, purpose, genuine kindness, and the quiet certainty that the right people never need to be convinced to appreciate your presence.